this channel and make sure you share this video with someone. Thank you very much. Let's get into it, ladies.
A lot of people gonna hate me for saying this, but like how we talk about if someone comes around and they're doing something bad, or like they're having a kid on the side and the people that condone it. Mm-hmm. So my whole thing is they didn't just come and get us without someone giving them to us.
Mm-hmm. No, it was co-signed. Mm-hmm. It was co-signed
because Africa willingly gave us up.
And for weapons.
Paul Mooney said y'all never came back and got us.
They traded us for weapons. Mm-hmm. But they said, one of the tribes, I don't know if I don't want to misquote, but I know it was a tribe in Nigeria, because I don't know if you ever saw that brilliant miniseries by Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I saw.
Okay, well, he had went to a few countries in Africa, yes. And he had spoke to one of the priestesses, and they spoke about it, and she said, well, it was only supposed to be like the those that were indentured, or and he was just like, yeah, but she was just like, well, we didn't know that it was going to be that bad. And he was just like, but nobody, not a cuckoo and nothing.
Yeah.
And then it kind of, the scene kind of faded out. It was a quiet, mm-hmm. a long silence, and the scene kind of faded out. And it's just like, y'all knew. Like, mm-hmm. somebody had to get word to you. Like,
exactly.
This is, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. All these hundreds of years and nobody knew. Y'all didn't send out a search party or nothing.
Exactly. Paul Mooney said y'all never came back and got us. Mm-hmm. and I brought that up. I brought that up because I have a lot of non-Black friends, Caucasian, Spanish, and I know in the Caucasian white community, one of their arguments is that, and I get it, like they're saying we're not the ones that did this to y'all. So that's their argument about the situation. So one thing that bothers me is that the light is on them, but we need to put the light on y'all over there too, because y'all were involved in us being over here. And it was many years where I'm gonna keep it gully and real, where my mom had a lot of African friends and they were real close. And I guess that connection, because my mom was, West Indian, but they talk bad about Black Americans.
All the time.
So it's like,
all the time. Always talking bad about Black Americans.
Yeah, they talk bad about us. I'm like, first of all, we were sold, we were sent over here. Y'all really gave us away. And then we opened up doors over here. We did all this, the involuntary work that we did, mm-hmm. so y'all could come over and get your degrees.
Mm-hmm. And become the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers,
And I know a lot of people are going to look at me sideways, but no, like, if we can look at the white people and shed light on them, we got to shed light on y'all too. And we got to shed light on how y'all didn't come back and get us, number one. And then when you came back over here, you looked down on us.
You looked down on us.
Yeah, like, I have
So it was just like, we're hated.
Like, from all sides. Right. A lot of West Indians, they say that, or people from Africa and stuff, they say that we're not cultured enough. We lost the culture. We're lazy and everything. I was just like,
how are we lazy?
I was just like, first of all,
I never understand, how are we lazy?
And then say, well, okay, in America,
work like 3 and 5 jobs.
And okay, let's say we got it lazy.
Everybody has
right
folks who are lazy.
Why work harder when you could work smarter as well, if that's the case?
No, but that's not even the case. The case is this: the United States government literally wrote racism into their laws, into their practices, into their businesses, into every faction of the government, and it made sure that anybody that looked like us, that didn't have a visa or a green card, stayed here. if you move past there and you got something, it wasn't going to be with the help of them.
Nope.
Because the only people they going to help is the ones that either look like lighter hue, or the ones that have a visa, a green card, or a passport from a different country.
Yep. Because a lot of them get scholarships. A lot of them get full scholarships to come here. And I'm talking about Africans.
Yeah.
And let me not, because I don't want nobody to feel like I'm hating on Africans. I have a lot of African friends. I have a lot of friends who I consider my family who are African. My mother's side of the family is from Panama by way of Jamaica and Trinidad, and what other, Barbados. Can't forget Barbados. And my father's side of the family would be considered Black Americans with some indigenous mixed in there somewhere. So so I'm all around the whole thing. So I'm talking from because my whole thing is right and wrong is wrong. And like I said, we got to shed light on y'all too. Because there's been a lot of, issues that, and I really feel like, what I feel like is that when we're shedding the light on what white America did to us, they in the corners like this. Don't mention what we did to y'all. Like, like, when you remember back in the day when you turn light and the roach be standing like this?
You stay still like.
So they standing there like,
like, Negro, I see you.
You did it too. You the part of the problem. For some guns? We was getting eaten on boats because you needed a freaking gun? Okay.
But you see now, with all of the stuff going on in certain countries within Africa, it's civil unrest. The government is corrupt. There's so much stuff happening. And you got Boko Haram. You got all of these militant groups that all they got is guns. Where the guns is coming from? China building up every place in Africa. Because they like, we need more space and we need to show our royal oath. So they giving them loans that they can't pay back so that they can be indebted to the Chinese government.
Yep.
It's such like if only we had the knowledge and the wherewithal to be like, y'all mofos gonna stay over there and we gonna strategize on this side. Everybody with this tone.
Yep.
That's within these 54 countries and around the world, the whole diaspora. We gonna get together and we gonna show them how it's supposed to be done. Now we know that, war was something that always happened between countries. We know that. But it shouldn't be happening between the people that look like you and because you have a different tribe.
But it goes back to slavery.
Yep.
And the house nigga versus the field nigga. And it's something that they did that I guess them transcended over the last 400 years. So what we have to do is somebody has to be like, you know what? Enough is enough. With the light skin, dark skin, who's in the hood, who's on the
that
street,
is like the most,
who's in that street, like it's up to us to be like, enough is enough.
Yeah, and I think it's like so dumb at this
it's so
point.
dumb. Like I get it all the time. Oh, you was in the house and stuff. I was just like, yes, but I'm still in.
But you was still slaves at the end of the day.
Right. I was getting raped. I had to be smacked around by, like, you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, they still know a nigga. You know what I'm saying? So come on.
But the fact that they would even like classify you as a house nigga, like we in 2023,
they still saying they still calling you.
Oh, you was in the house. You had it lovely. I said,
who like that's
no, but Eva's right. No,
I know, but I'm trying to say, trying to figure out who's still saying that in 2022.
People, I get it all the time.
I've been around light-skinned Negroes that would be proud. They'd be proud of, I was in the, I would have been in the house. I would have been in the field with y'all. Listen, it's 2022. If you still talking that nonsense, Stop
it. That's where it.
But that's why
like we have who was the chick on that show who called Leslie Jones. She called her a dog, ugly something, and it's just like, why would you go on a show and call another? It was a Black woman. She was on the show with, what's that fool? He always say something stupid. Is it Jason?
Oh, like that commentator.
Yeah. Okay. And she was on the show and she referred them to Leslie Jones as being ugly dog. And it's just like, you are a Black woman, and why would you say that about another Black?
Exactly. I remember after Fantasia had won.
Oh, that was yes.
After she had won,
I remember that.
A radio personality, high yellow Black dude was like, well, that's all she's gonna win is that show. He's like, and so then the person on the show with him was like, well, what do you mean? He's like, she's dark. She's not gonna make it. I was done after that. I was like, are you fucking serious? First of all, you got all these young girls listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
All these young Black girls that are listening to you, and they that's embedded in their soul. So now there's a lot of young Black girls that grew up into Black or older Black women who don't even know where this came from, this hatred for themselves. Because some idiot want to say Fantasia didn't make it because, or she's not going to make it because she's dark. Mm-hmm. But that's how we think. That's how a lot of us think.
Unfortunately.
And unfortunately, we keep handing that baton to the next generation. And the thing is, we don't even have to speak that in our homes. Mm-hmm. Society is doing that for us.
Yep.
And we do it to ourselves, because when you see the music videos, when you see TV shows, if you are dark, you have to have some European features, or something special got to be for you to be on the show.
I mean, we know Fantasia will out-sing most of the people out there.
Exactly.
I'll sing, I'll perform.
It don't matter what they look like.
That's my. But yeah, a family member, when I put out my single, family member told me, they was just like, you're only going to get recognition because you're light skinned.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So it still happens, and that was when October.
Right, because your single just came out.
We still that's some involuntary work a conversation.
Right. You know what? I'm not doing this with you.
I bought into it involuntary.
Like, damn, I was just like, okay. Involuntary work, involuntary migration.
Oh my God! But that's sad, Eve. That's sad.
I get it. I get it all the time, and I used to hate it. And it caused me to, I'm being real. Growing up, I used to hate being light skinned because of it. I hated my skin tone. I was too Black to be a white person. I was too white to be a Black person. It was just like, I got it growing up all the time. And I hated being light skinned. I hated.
And that's sad, because they took that from you.
Huh?
Like people saying those things to you, especially as a little girl.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be proud of who you are, regardless of what you are.
Regardless of your skin.
Yeah. Like, the thing about it is like, oh, why you're like, I remember, like, I guess somebody asked my mom, like, why is she so white? And I was like
and the thing is, it has nothing to do with you. And
right, my mom was
about their own stuff.
Right, my mom was like, it's the milkman's baby. Don't worry about it.
I can't, yo.
Yeah.
So, real quick, she was very fair when she was younger. And he's not a family member. When he saw her later on in life, he was like literally for like 10 minutes straight, he was like, oh my God, you got so dark. Oh my God, you're way darker than you. Like, he was just like, I'm like, I want to say, if you don't shut up, because we don't talk like that in my house. So if somebody's like,
no,
in her head, you're so dark, it's like, So
and not saying it like it's a great thing.
Yeah. He could have like, oh my God, look at your skin tone.
Oh, I love dark. Oh, I love dark. I wish.
But he, if she had any pride about her skin tone that day, I'm pretty sure he threw it in the garbage for that moment. So then I had to do what do you call it? Damage control.
Be like, girl, you are looking fierce today.
Yeah.
Girl, look at that melanin in your skin.
It's the melanin for me.
So how are you all proposing for our young people? Because it's in our children. Our children are in constant fear of going to school. And, obviously the summer's here, but then you got mofos just shooting up stuff in this,
in the day. I definitely would say get a therapist. And a therapist that is like you. Like my therapist, when I went and had my intake, I specifically asked for a Black woman. I said, I want a Black woman because they know exactly what I'm going through. They can relate. They can empathize with us more. So if you get somebody else, they can empathize with you, but they don't understand exactly what you're going through. So I tell all of my friends that want to start therapy, get someone that looks like you.
Representation matters.
Yep.
Let me ask you, would you suggest that, so a Black male, would you suggest that he gets a Black male therapist?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Whoever the therapist is has to understand your life, your plight, where you come from. It's just something that that you have to understand. It's the same thing with doctors. I remember I went to get a COVID test because I was on my way to see my mother, and she's over the age, and I was going to see Kaya, who is open about her autoimmune stuff, and I said I did not want to be. You are open about your autoimmune stuff. I was looking.
It was a coincidence, Shauna.
Oh, I'm just like, you've done shows about your autoimmune stuff.
Listen then.
Like, this ain't nothing new. So I went to get a COVID test, and my blood pressure was high. So they said they wanted to do a EKG. The EKG comes back, the doctor says, I need you to go straight to the ER. He said, your EKG is abnormal, and we need to make sure that you're not having a heart attack. So I'm like, oh Lord, Jesus. Elizabeth. I'm coming, Elizabeth. Oh, so Father. I go to the ER, and there is a Latinx nurse who was the intake person, and she looks at the EKG, and she's like, I don't see anything wrong. I go see the Black doctor. He's like, there's nothing wrong with your EKG. Did you know that Black women tend to have an abnormal EKG?
The rhythm.
The rhythm.
I'm like, that's what it is?
The rhythm.
That's that season song.
So
that's a Lori. That's a Lori.
Lowry's in there.
So this white doctor had me thinking I was dying. Where it's something that's normal.
And it's sad because he's in the medical field servicing all cultures.
And doesn't know.
And that reminds me of the time, you remember I went in to get a DNC. And I was in the doctor's office, and you know, with DNC, you have to get anesthesia and whatever, right? A local. Mm-hmm. He did not give me anything.
I had general. I had general for mine.
Right. I didn't have nothing.
Oh my God.
Because Black women are supposed to be able to take pain.
So look, and the crazy thing, he snipped. I felt the snip. I felt everything. And I was screaming in the office. And I was cursing. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, he was just like, don't scream in my office. He sent me straight back to work, dealing with kids, and then charged my insurance as a full-term pregnancy when I was not even pregnant.
Oh my God.
So ever since that day, like, I was literally walking around feeling like my whole uterus was about to come out of my whole vagina. And ever since that day, I made sure I have my OBGYN is a Black woman.
But you have to, but then that goes back to representation.
Right.
Matters.
I remember one time I had a Hindu Indian woman. I was 19 years old, and I purposely didn't tell my mother, because if I told my mother my experience, I know my mom would have gotten in the car and went over there and probably shot up the whole place. Because when I tell you, this lady had her whole arm and hand, like her hand and her arm up to here inside of me, and she was going like this. She's like, I think you got fibroids, and she's going like this, and I was like, oh, like I was like, what the hell? I felt raped and violated.
It's someone that looks like you.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, there's a lot of people of color that are in the medical field. Mm-hmm. And I know that when I got pregnant and I had Chris, I gained a lot of weight, and I was in full-term labor for 2 days. 2 full. Now it wasn't like, oh, the contractions are about like 10 minutes.
Oh my God, you must have been exhausted.
I had nothing. And then on top of that, I pushed for 4.5 hours.
Oh my God.
And obviously when I had my first son, I was very young. And I didn't know no better. And, you know, other people didn't know no better either. And I got an episiotomy, but I also got ripped from front to back. And they had to use forceps to get him out. So it was only the grace of God that he came out fine, and that I didn't die. Because when I tell you that everything was dropping, like, and because I couldn't take no more.
Right, of course.
I was exhausted.
So that's why I don't know if now that's why I'm on the edge. As soon as I hear somebody talk about what?
You got PTSD.
What you say? Yeah. You know, I be ready to go. What? Because you know, I think back, and that's why for a while, for like at least 10 years after that, I didn't want to have any.
Yeah,
because I had PTSD.
Some of the medical field is not, built for. Look at the most decorated, or I should say, one of the most decorated athletes in the world. Serena Williams had a horror story giving birth. She's Serena Williams.
And you would think
she's all right.
The medical team that's around him, like, look, don't mess with her.
Exactly, but still.
Yeah.
Not only is she like the GOAT, but then her husband is also
right.
Like, I don't think we want to mess this up. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll own the hospital, they'll own all our houses, cars, and our great grandchildren's.
Yes.
The hospital will be named
Serena Williams.
The Serena Williams Hospital.
Be called King Richard. King Richard.
You know? So what are your lighthearted takeaways to stay sane, to try and get through
find whatever makes you. Find whatever makes you happy. If it's reading a book, listening to music, being on the phone with your friends or your family members. At this point, and I would say go for a drive, but gas is so expensive. You don't want to do that.
Go for a walk.
Yeah, go
take a walk.
Take a skateboard and just.
Yeah. If you always thought about, planting flowers, whatever it is, you got to find something that's going to make you calm and give you peace and happiness. Because at the end of the day, the sad thing about this world that we live in, we don't have any control. The only control we have is what's in our home and what we do at our jobs. That's it. Other than that, we don't have any control. And when you do vote for who's going to be president or your local official, according to Trump, that's no, everything is rigged anyway. So anyway, but like I said,
it was proven by the Department of Justice.
Don't start no mess.
No. But
let's stay off there because conspiracy theories.
And not to take it into a different direction, but if you have God, tap into God. Because that will help keep you sane. Spirituality.
I would definitely say my therapist tells me this all the time to help with my anxiety. Think of anxiety it's the unknown of the future. And when you think about the unknown, you're actually creating a fantasy. It didn't happen yet. So you gotta literally take it day by day, minute by minute. Focus on what you're doing right now.
I agree.
Because when you're gonna look and you think about the future, you're causing yourself to get you're hyperventilating. But you're hyperventilating off of a fantasy, not the reality.
I needed to hear that.
Every time you feel yourself getting anxious about the future, worry about the future when it gets there. Focus on what you're doing right now.
Can I piggyback onto that?
Yes, go ahead, sister.
The word says, "Be anxious for nothing. But in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of."
Amen.
That's all I had. Go ahead.
I'm kind of Baptist fit for that one.
Hallelujah.
Every time I hear anxious or anxiety, I always get that scripture always comes to mind. Is be anxious for nothing, but in everything with prayer and supplication and thanksgiving, make your request known. So what you want, speak it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being anxious over it, right. if you're anxious about something negative, speak the positive and make that request known. You know what I'm saying? So you counteract that negative with the positive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all I got. So, sorry, go ahead.
But even with that, to piggyback off of that too, just remember you don't have control of what also happens. Because if it doesn't align with God's will for you, it's not going to happen. So you got to be okay with the fact of it not being your way, but what your life is supposed to be meant to be.
Amen.
Or you can keep trying to force a square into a circle peg.
And it will never happen.
And then you keep on hitting your head, saying, why is it so hard? Life shouldn't be this hard. Why is it so hard? Life shouldn't be this hard. It's because you are going against the will of God.
Oh, yeah.
You know the radio station that's always dropping the bombs?
Oh, yes.
I think we need to add every bomb that was dropped right.
Yeah.
Clue.
Boom.
Clue.
Another one.
Listen, I don't pretend that I have the answers for everything because I don't. But I try to, like I said earlier, I try to compartmentalize. Like, there's some people that can watch a movie or they can listen to some hip hop music or some rock and they'll be like, yeah, let's go kill somebody. I've never been that type of chick. I can watch them.
The only song that will make me do that.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Knock if you buck. Knock if you buck.
Promo. Knock if you buck.
But being able to, I think one of the greatest tools that we have, is our mind. And being able to be in control of your mind and the things that you allow in and the things that you allow out, that is totally up to you. Nobody can change that. So having your mind and keeping your mind in perfect peace is something that you should strive for every day. And whatever gives you peace, sometimes you got to fight for it because it's not going to come easily. So sometimes you got to be like, no, it's not going to happen like this. I'm going this way. I'm going to leave you this way. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? And just keep your mind in peace. And I know that it's not easy for a lot of people to do. I'm realizing that more and more now that it's not easy for people to do. And I see myself being like, all right, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And then I find myself taking on everybody else's stuff, trying to create peace in their life.
You can't do that.
But causing, and I ain't going to say turmoil, but causing extra unnecessary stuff in my life that I don't need. But I just really pray that we all could get to a point where we are in control of our minds and what we allow in and what we let out.
Right. Another thing that helps, I started doing that a while ago, especially during the time of my healing and everything. I started changing the algorithms of my social media. So instead of looking, because I used to compare myself a lot. Instead of doing that, I changed it. I started liking more inspirational stuff. So mostly on my timeline,
it's all inspirational.
That fills me up, that brings me joy and stuff. Like I had to follow a lot of unfollow a lot of people because I'm just like, what is it doing to me mentally?
Yeah, I'm saying them algorithms is a demon all by itself.
Yes,
and you gotta fight against the algorithms.
Yo, if you you cannot handle this, or you find yourself battling yourself or being always triggered, you're gonna always be triggered. You gotta learn the tools for when you get triggered to get over it.
Well, one of the tools that Instagram allows and Facebook is you can click them little dots on that post and say not interested. You can do that on YouTube. You can do that on Instagram. You can do that. Say not interested. I'm not interested. Don't want to see this.
Because you can think you're not going to get caught up, but you actually get caught up in stuff like that.
It's like it's never ending.
And you be like, yo,
the rabbit hole is
you just get caught up every single time. Change your algorithm.
I'm glad you brought that up, Yvette.
That was a good one.
Social media is a big part of human beings.
Oh yes,
especially now, especially our children.
But they've done studies that show most people, well, not most, but a
That's
lot
a nice
of
little
people,
glass, Eve.
A lot of people get their news from
social media,
and it's just like, is it true though? Like, is what you're seeing fact?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just like, if you're listening to the same person, done with the conspiracy theories, and it's just like, what is that doing for you? Because for me, I'd rather have peace over everything.
You're a product of your household.
Yeah.
So imagine the product being what you follow on social media.
With peace, I can make money. With peace, I can fall in love. With peace, I can do anything. But I would rather have peace than everything else.
Right.
Come on, somebody.
One thing to add to that too is I think people need to start making small goals. Set small goals.
Set small goals, yes.
Because I find that I've seen people who are just living, they don't have any direction that they're going into, especially when, as people get older, they just become complacent. They just become or used to just sitting there watching the TV all day and watching the news and complaining. Because I notice when you watch the news all day long, whether it's CNN or MSNBC or the other one, Fox, you become a negative Nelly. And so,
because it's in you.
Yeah,
it's like ingrained in you.
Right. Yeah. Also, another thing, I'm sorry to go in on this, but it's also what you're eating.
Yes.
So what you're not doing for your body. Like, not for nothing, even though I may be in small or whatever, boot camp and working out has been one of the greatest outlets I have ever taken on. Because you can just focus on yourself, is releasing the hormones that you release to bring out the creativity, to bring out the energy and everything. Get yourself healthy. Stop eating all of these bad things. I know it's good because I love it too.
like mac and cheese
and fried chicken.
You get a treat. You don't have to eat it every day.
Because when you're able to pour into yourself, you're able to pour out to others.
Yeah.
So make sure your cup is full before you do anything.
And at the end of the day, I mean, I know that we're not a news source or anything like that. I mean, we try to give you, as factual information as we possibly can, but rock with us, because you are us and we are you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And obviously, we want to see you win, and I hope y'all want to see us win. You know what I mean? Because all we got is us.
Oh yeah.
We might be family that's on the screen right now, but we would like for you to join the Melanin Movement family as well. One big family, because family, no matter how much y'all fight, y'all gonna rock for each other.
Oh yeah,
that is true.
Regardless,
that is true.
Everybody know here that we will fight, but we rock. You ain't gonna mess with one of ours and we not come to you and be like, what?
I'm a witness.
Well, sometimes it's deserved. It's deserved.
Nah, it's definitely deserved.
It's deserved.
Definitely
deserved. Not like
I haven't even got a chance to talk to you about it. You know what it's gonna be. Chitty chitty bang bang. And I was mad calm. Mad calm. Listen, if you have not yet subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel and share it. Share the videos with your friends, your family, and tell them to rock with us too. And always stay tuned for the next shows. And hopefully soon we'll be traveling to a city near you, Melanin Movement style, to have a good old time with the peoples. A good old time with the peoples, talking about men's, talking about relationships, talking about girl codes, talk about family issues. We talk about everything. But hopefully soon we will be coming to a city near you. So my favorite ladies, my sisters, Evie,
the Sancho Pay sisters.
Yes, hold up. To my favorite ladies, my Sancho Pay and Monte Carlo sisters. I haven't said that. Got it. Evie, Keisha, and Shauna Dawn. I am Kaya. Shout out to Cho. We miss you, girl.
Miss you, boo.